Alright guys, Dokkan time, and LR Carnival Jiren is here on JP Dokkan, specifically for Tanabata Celebration Part 2. Global players, unfortunately, you are going to have to wait until December. Yeah, probably December. Maybe earlier, it really depends on how they want to handle this thing. But anyways, moving on from that shenanigans. So, as far as my role tips go for this guy, he is primarily a slot 2 unit. I don't see him being in slot 3. You kind of want to keep him on rotation just because of how good he is. You can put him into slot 1. He can definitely go into slot 1, but you do feel a little bit defensive weakness in him on certain fights, and certain attacks could hit. You will survive, I will say that. He can definitely survive majority of damage in the game. At the time of writing anyways, he could eventually fall off on that point. But the point is because of the way his kit is built, you really want to put him in slot 2. As far as his partners go, himself, Tech LR Jiren is confirmed to get an EZA. That is a confirmation, not an official one, but as far as data download goes, it is confirmed we will get an EZA for that Tech LR Jiren. So he will be an excellent partner. And then after that, Topo, Physical Topo specifically, AGL UI Goku, Tech Omen / Ultra Instinct Goku would be the best partners for him in my personal opinion. And then as far as the leader goes, himself, of course, Topo. Topo is a 170 lead though. I will say that Topo is only on 170 with him. And then Omen Ultra Instinct Goku would be also a good 200% leader. But that is it. That is all I can suggest. Now, unfortunately, the website hasn't, like, fully adapted. Oh, never mind. He is 200%. I take it back. He is 200% on Topo. My bad, my bad, my bad. So he is 200% on Topo. He's 200% on Omen. You could obviously rock him on some of these other teams. I just wouldn't suggest it. I don't feel like he melds well enough with them. He is also a super boss. I do not feel like he melds well as a super boss. As a super boss unit, he is good, but I just don't feel like he fits in with the rest of the members. You can still throw him on super bosses. By all means, you can throw him onto super bosses. You can throw him on Broly's team. You can throw him onto Rose's team. You can by all means do that. That's perfectly fine and understandable. But he's only going to be 170 on those teams. And I just don't think you'll see him at his 100% best. And I think that's what I'm trying to do as far as my role tips go. So let's go ahead and go take a look at his old kit. Unfortunately, it's not translated on any websites right now. I'm going to switch off the role tips now and go into the build suggestions. You can take a look at those as I'm talking about the kit. And then after that, I'll go into why I have him built on these suggestions. So he is a Universe 11 200% leader. He's also a Universe Survival Saga leader. If you didn't know, Universe 11 is basically consistent of less than 20 units. This is the first Carnival unit to have 2 200% leader skills. This is good news for the future, but as of right now, this is very irrelevant. He does raise attack and defense on his 12 key super, and he greatly raises attack and defense on his 18 key super. He also has a high chance of stunning. This isn't his normal, by the way. This is normal state. He has key plus 8 attack and defense 350%. Disables the action of the enemy hit by the character's attacker once within a turn for 1 turn upon the character's entry. So literally turn 1, he disables an action. Reduces damage received by 50%, and then plus an additional attack and defense plus 50% when attacking, plus an additional attack plus 100%, and great chance of performing a critical hit, and reduces damage received by 11% as the second or third attacker in a turn. So this is where it goes back to my previous point that you kind of just want to throw him into slot 2. He gets extra benefits for being in slot 2. He's got 70% chance to crit in that slot as well, which is kind of the reason why. He's 70% chance to crit is insane. That's almost guaranteed in my personal opinion. Usually if a unit has more than 50% chance to crit, I will always tell you, just put the rest of your hidden potential into whatever else is left, being additional or dodge, up to your personal preference. And that's just kind of the way Jiren is. He's got full crit build. into his passive already, so there's no reason to give him anything else but additional and dodge. But anyways, he also has standby, which he goes to standby for 5 turns, during which the counter increases by 1 per key sphere obtained. You can fail the standby. It is potentially possible. Very unlikely, but you can fail it. You can activate it from the 3rd turn from start of turn, so that means if you throw him, if he gets put into slot 7 somehow, on appearance, you could potentially actually immediately go into standby mode, which is pretty nice. His links aren't amazing. Supreme Warrior, terrible link. Shocking Speed, eh. I mean, yeah, Shocking Speed. Infighter, eh. Godly Power, okay. Tournament Power, okay. Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. So, let's look at his standby. His standby is unable to attack, defense plus 350, all allies key plus 3, reduces damage received by 50%, plus an additional damage reduction at 11% per key sphere obtained. So that means after 5 key spheres, he'll have 100% damage reduction. And then plus an additional defense, plus 100% when receiving an attack, and then randomly changes key spheres, 1 key sphere of a certain type to AGL key spheres. Interesting. So he actually orb changes in standby? Huh. All allies attack plus 70% if this character is the 2nd or 3rd to obtain key spheres in a turn. Wow. So once again, slot 7 or slot 2 is his best positioning. Very interesting though, because all you have to do is get 5 key spheres in his standby at every point in time. You don't even have to waste key spheres on him. You can just get 5 or even 4, really, 3 or 4. He'll basically nullify any attack that comes at him in standby. Once he transforms, once you fulfill the standby, he will greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn on his 12 key and massively raise his attack, and then only normal raise his defense for 1 turn. So 100% attack increase and then 30% attack increase on his 18 key. And I said it on his 12 key. His 12 key is 70% increase on attack, or 50% increase on attack, and then 30% defense increase. My bad. Numbers are hard. Anyways, he has an absurd amount of key plus 11, attack and defense plus 400%, reduces damage received by 60%, foresees enemies super attack, reduces damage received by 11% for 1 turn from the start of character's entry turn, plus an additional attack and defense 111% when attacking, great chance of performing a crit, plus another additional chance of performing a crit, plus 11% with each super attack performed, plus an additional attack plus 50%, attacks guaranteed to hit, and performs a crit when key is 24, plus an additional attack plus 50% with each attack received. So as you can, with each super attack received, excuse me. So as you can see, he has a ridiculous amount of crit for no good reason. I don't even know why they pumped that much crit into him. Let's take a look at this real quick, though. So this right here is him getting hit by the new boss, Vegeta, right here. He's getting hit. He's just getting normal hits. 56 mil. Man, that's a lot of damage. I'm telling y'all, that is a lot of bloody damage. So that is something to keep in mind. This is on a rotation where he is just absurd. He can tank. He can tank a little bit, especially post super. I feel like he can really tank a good portion of fights. This is once again new blue zone stage right here. Post super. Once again, 50 million attack stat as well. Does absurd amount of damage, and he just does good damage, you know. So I can't really express how much damage he does. He just does crazy amounts of damage. I really cannot tell you that he just does a crazy amount of damage in here. I want to see if it's once again up there, because right now he doesn't have like perfect links or nothing on this. Yeah. So even when he's not like linked up with himself, you know, he just has the Pride Trooper Topo, the Intelligence one, he still hit 47 mil damage. So he's got crazy damage numbers there. Let's go take a look at his defense compliments of Halvard over here. So without support, you know, 18 key, 800k defense, double super 900, with support 1 mil to 900. That's on Rainbow. So if you only got a 55% on his defense, if you only have a 55% copy, you can expect his defense to be a very large, suitable chunk lower. It'll be very much lower. And do not expect him to double super. With no built-in into his passive, you're 100% reliant on your hidden potential. So completely go off of the idea that you're only going to super once, and if he double supers, then fantastic. But otherwise, it wouldn't even be much of a jump. But, you know, going over here into his transformed state, if you can get him to double super, you know, 1.4, 1.5 mil with support. Now, you got to keep in mind, this is only 40% support right here. He probably has a lot more defense. You know, if you have him on the Tech Omen Goku's domain, then his defense is going to go up a lot more. If you got him on a rotation where he's just getting loads of extra support from the members on the team, this defense can go much higher. But just be realistic about it. More than likely, you're only supering once, so probably 1.2, 1 mil. If you have a 55% copy, I mean, even go below that. If you have 55% copy Jiren, probably expect his defense to be below 1 million. Unless you have him juiced up with domains and off-turn support and on-turn support. I wouldn't expect it otherwise. But overall, I think he's a good unit. I think he's a fantastic unit. As far as his builds go, like I said, I would 100% just probably go with that one. Full additional, put the rest into dodge. Go for maybe an attack orb if you're feeling comfortable with it. As far as 55% users, definitely go for the additional. There's no reason to really worry too much. And then if you really want to use him defensively, then by all means go full dodge. But just put the rest into additional. There's no reason to give this Jiren crit. There's just no reason. The man is filled with crit. I would say he is one of the highest chances to crit in the game. Isn't that right, Foofies? Isn't that right? He's got lots of crit. He's like, she wants me to feed her. I'm sorry. Okay, I have to end the video because I have to go feed my cat Ari. But anyways, guys, let me know how you're going to build your LR AGL Carnival Jiren on JP users and global players. Do you want to get this guy? Is he good enough to you? Is that crazy attack stat good enough? Or do you think you might skip him? Let me know down in the comments. Have a good day and a good night, everyone.